Boys and girls, here's a little lab scope video for you for the day. Got a Chevy towed in for was a crank no start or a start and stall. So we got a low amp current probe. We're jumped across the terminals for the fuel pump relay. So we're delivering direct power, no relay, and checking current to the fuel pump. So we got it over here, recording at 500 milliseconds per division, so you can't really see a whole lot of what's going on until I go down, pause it, and then start dialing in on this thing, and then I'll show you where the magic of a good fuel pump happens here. Let's go into this. Let's dial down a little bit harder than that. Now most fuel pumps have 8 commutators in them. So what we're going to do here, there we go, one hump. So let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Well, that's pretty good. So we'll measure out 8 humps. That is one, between those lines right there, that is one revolution of the fuel pump. That revolution took 15.3 milliseconds to make that revolution. So we can do a little bit more magic here. We can bring up the calculator. Now there's 60,000 milliseconds in a second. We can divide that by our time of one revolution. So we'll divide that by 15.33, and that gives us about 3,913 RPM that pump is spinning. A little lower than I'd like to see on a GM fuel pump. Looks like obviously the commutators are nice and even. Usually if I see these real jagged, or one's way low, one's way high, it shows that it's been ran dry too many times. Typically you like to see about 5,000 RPM though on a good healthy GM pump. It is pulling about an average, if you see right here, about the middle line, somewhere in there. I could bring up a cursor, but we'll do that. I'll just bring up a cursor. Let's see. Bring a cursor right down there, about midway. Pulling about 5.3, somewhere about 5.4, say, amps of current on the midline. And then typically you're going to get about 1 amp of current draw for every 10 psi of fuel pump pressure. So that would tell us we have about 50, maybe 54 psi on the pump. So, I mean, overall, the fuel pump is looking good. It was suspected to be bad, although it could be failing randomly, but let's try this. Let's go with, now we know that thing's making one full revolution in 15 milliseconds. Let's go with 20 milliseconds a time on the screen. Maybe let's go with 50. Oh no. Oh, my bad. I'm zoomed in still. That'll help to zoom out. And then we can go with, say, 20 US, not US, 20 MS. Sorry. There we go. You can kind of see the fuel pump running. You can trigger it, keep it still. Looking pretty good. So anyway, that's fuel pump diagnosis. Next video I'll show you guys a bad one, what a real bad one looks like. Have a good one.